Hi and welcome. Welcome to Healing Solidarity, Embodying Change, the second conference about reimagining international development. Last year, we gathered to think and share conversations about the change that our sector needs. In this year's online conference, I want to invite us to be inspired to embody that change and really live into it in our practice. And I hope during this week together, you'll not only find the talks that I'm going to be sharing with you rich, but also come into the Healing Solidarity Collective, where we'll be doing the equivalent of what you might do at a live conference in between the sessions and engaging with each other in discussions. There'll be a place to ask questions and also links to the live events that are part of the week. As I said last year, this is the conference I would organise in person if I had the resources. And so I'll be hanging out in the collective a lot during the week, ready to be in conversation with you all. For me, the links between how we treat ourselves and each other and how we create the change our sector needs have become ever clearer. I just don't think we will be able to make the structural and systemic change that's needed unless we start thinking of ourselves, our role, and our relationship to one another in very different ways. That for me is what this conference, the collective, and much of the work I do is really about. Today, on Monday, we're going to hear from Edgar Villanueva, from Swati Deepak, from Ponce Mafete, Boli Chu, Mitali Sen, Stephanie Awa de Wolf, Zora Musa, Marai Larasi, and Neha Cargill. They're going to tell us what their experience of philanthropy and development spaces as Black and Indigenous people of colour is really like. And in the session, the live session at lunchtime today, Alex Martins, Jennifer Lempfer, and I will be thinking about what white people who are in this work, like us, can do to really respond to those conversations and think about how we can become intentionally anti-racist and decolonial in our own practice. For all of us today will mean thinking about what it means to bring our whole selves to our work and envision it as a practice for healing injustice within that political framework of anti-racism and decolonial practice that I want to invite us all to take to our work. Tomorrow on Tuesday, we're going to hear from Salome Lema, the Executive Director of Thousand Currents, from Laurie Michel and Nat Gibran from Raising Voices, and from Dani Sri Skandaraja, the CEO of Oxfam GB. They're all brave and courageous leaders who are demonstrating what it means to embody change in their organisations, and they're going to provide us with some clear examples of what it could look like to really be the change in the way that we embody and practice our work. Our live session tomorrow will be about building organisational cultures which centre care and compassion, and it's happening in partnership with Minister Pitotti and the CHS Alliance. There's also going to be a couple of guests in that session as well. On Wednesday, we're going to hear from Faye Kong about how humanitarian staffing needs to really look like, and Laurianne Robson about how she's seeking to wake the sector up in the UK to the urgent need for more diversity. And finally, we'll also hear from Shauna Wakefield about building resilience and using practices that help build resilience in our work. The live session will be a follow-up to last week's Pathways to Power Symposium in London. It's coming to you in partnership with Jenny Hodgson and the Global Fund for Community Foundations. Thursday, we're going to explore more around the support and care we need to help enable us to be in a place, both personally and collectively, to really move towards the kind of changes that we want to see in our work. I'll be talking with Hitendra Solanki, Mary Jane Rial from Urgent Action Fund Asia Pacific, and Pip Bennett about their different approaches to thinking about the support and care that we need. In a final live session this Friday, Swati Deepak and I will reflect on the week, and that's going to be at 10 a.m. UK time, and we'll be thinking about how we can continue to support one another and move together towards a solidarity that heals. This online conference is designed to support and inspire us, and I'm so looking forward to sharing these new conversations and live events with you this week. All through the week, as I already said, we'll be sharing live discussions and reflection questions in the Healing Solidarity Collective, and inviting conversations there about the talks featured in the conference. So if you're not already with us in that Mighty Network space, do click on the link that you'll get in your email to join that. I want to remind you also that the conference is deliberately designed to invite conversations about some of the most difficult and intransigent structural issues in our sector. And I'm deliberately creating a space in which we're invited to talk about issues like racism and colonialism, and think about how they manifest in our work, as well as thinking about how we can practice being deliberately and intentionally anti-racist and decolonial in the work that we do. Being in these kind of conversations requires us all to be willing to let go of being perfect, to think about thinking differently, and to hold one another accountable. Most of all, it requires us to be open to change. I really hope the conference will offer you what you came here for, and that many useful things will come out of it. If you need support, you can find me via private message in the Healing Solidarity Collective or via email. My part this week is to intentionally create space for us to explore these questions, to think about our own practice, and to help inspire the kind of change that I think our sector needs. I'll do it to the best of my ability, but in no way am I perfect with that. And I have my own blind spots and inadequacies too. So bear with me if I don't say or do exactly what you hoped I would. Let's dive into day one. I'm going to be back this year each morning with a short live video in the morning, showing some brief reflections on the day before. And finally, to remind you that if you don't have time to view all the talks this week, you can also make a contribution to support this project and get downloads of all the conversations, both the recorded ones and the live ones that happen this week. I so appreciate contributions from those who are able to make them, as they help me sustain and resource this work, which is funded by one small grant from the Emergence Foundation and otherwise by your generous contributions. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the conference, and I'll see you in the collective.